You're going to find it under one roof at Westside Decorating Center. And a good morning to you on this Monday morning. And we are glad to be with you another week in July. I don't know where this month is going. June, I should say. I don't know where this month is going because it's you blink and it's already already half gone. Anyhow, lots of things to do this morning. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll talk about the Reed Association in Saginaw. At 11 o'clock on Focus, St. Stan's Festival will be the subject. But for this hour, we have a number of guests in studio from Midland to talk about a couple of different things. A special presentation that has to do with the 250th of America, and also an annual garden walk. And we have a number of people in studio with us. First of all, we say good morning to the former Attorney General and Congressman Bill Schuette.
Well, good morning, Art. It's great to be on WSGW, and I'm a sidekick and promoter of two guests of yours with the mayor of Midland, got to be the finest mayor that I know, and also a fellow named Matt Smith, who's a organizer, a realtor, leader in town, and has put together a replica of the Declaration of Independence of the United States of America that'll be presented in Midland. We can talk more about that. Yeah, I'm going to have your listeners close their eyes and imagine this amazing document that we're putting together to come and sign.
Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Art.
Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
And the aforementioned mayor, Mayor Maureen Donker, with us this morning. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Art. It's so nice to be here with you and my two other cohorts for, fellow Midlanders. It's great to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you. Glad to have you all. The mayor is here to talk about the garden walk coming up. We'll talk about that with her. But Bill has already teased us with this replica Declaration of Independence. And I'm saying to myself, well, no big deal. There's lots of replicas of the Declaration of Independence. They're all about, 14 inches by 11 inches. And I mean, what else can you do with it? And your answer is?
Well, so I'm going to ask all these listeners just to close your eyes for a moment. Now, if you're driving, keep your eyes, as the Doors would say, keep your eyes on the road and your hands behind the wheel. So make sure you're a good driver there, and Jim Morrison would appreciate that. But close your eyes if you're in the farm or in your home, what have you. And what Matt Smith, and the courtesy of Bill Stavropoulos, who's a tremendous leader in Midland, former CEO of Dow Chemical, Matt and Bill Stavropoulos and a group that Matt put together put together a replica of the Declaration of Independence that is 50 feet tall. Yep, no mistaking, 50 feet tall, 10 feet wide, and it will be set up at the with a crane on Saturday, the 4th of July, at the ballpark at the Dow Diamond, where everybody here, Art Lewis and the others who are listening, can sign your name next to John Hancock and the rest of the original signers. And it is participatory democracy in action, and this is a project that Matt and Bill Stavropoulos, Three Rivers has the crane, and McKay Press in Midland have done the printing, so it's pretty cool. And I got to tell you, Art, I don't think there's anything like this between Grand Rapids and Grand Junction, Colorado, or New Buffalo, Michigan, and New York City. I don't know of any community that's put together a 50-foot tall replica of the Declaration of Independence. Phew, that's a lot. I have a lot to say today.
I'm trying to think of how McKay Press printed it.
Well, Art, there's an interesting story behind that. So when our steering committee, when we started to kind of do some brainstorming and just putting ideas on a whiteboard, and what does this look like? What are we going to do that's memorable? And Bill Stavropoulos had said, people that remember 1976 remember what we did as communities. They remember the parades. They remember the Uncle Sam hats. We want to do something that people 20, 30 years from now will still remember. So that was the task. And as we were brainstorming this, the idea of this larger than life Declaration of Independence that the community could sign came up, and the question was, well, how big can we make it? So I called my friends at McKay Press and I said, well, gosh, how big can you make it? And they said, how big do you want it? And I said, can you do 50 foot? And they said, yes. And I thought, oh my gosh, I thought the answer was going to be no. So that was kind of the launch pad for the rest of how we put this together.
I would imagine that the length is not the problem. The width would be the problem in terms of printing press.
Yeah, that's correct. And it was interesting going through the process of formatting and looking at the format of the document, how long it is and how wide it is. So, in playing with the width, they could go a little bit wider than 10 feet, but with the length and the width, it worked out well at 50 feet. And one important note there is that the bottom 10 foot by 10 foot of this will be blank. It will be open, and that's where we will sign. So the actual declaration and the forefathers' signatures will take up 40 feet by 10 feet, and then we get to participate in the bottom 10 feet by 10 feet.
How is this thing mounted?
So Three Rivers and John Lynch's team, they stepped up immediately. When I called John Lynch, he was like, Matt, sign us up. Whatever you need, we're there. So they created a bar that would be 10 feet wide, that would be hoisted by the crane to be able to hook to the corners of this replica and hoist it up. And then down towards the bottom, they're building a framework that it will be attached to at the bottom so that the bottom is secure and also so that it won't move so that we can sign on it. Because if you think of a gigantic sail, people trying to stand there and sign on it, it'd be moving all around. So it'll be secured at the bottom. It'll be secured at the top. They also put wind slits in it so that wind can pass through.
Yeah.
We're certainly cognizant of what the weather could be like. And if weather dictates, we'll take it down if we need to. But we've taken as many appropriate actions as we can to make sure that it'll accommodate most weather.
Yeah, because there's really no place to put that up inside.
Correct.
We need a 50-foot ceiling. It seems to be a little big.
Take it into the bullpen at Loon Stadium or something.
So all that being said, go back to what Bill said. Now that I've described that to you, envision what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
And envision how neat that'll be to come into that area with the backdrop of that Declaration of Independence. It'll be a very, very special event.
And so I'd asked you, Bill, before we went on the air, how is all of this funded?
Well, we have some really big-hearted, good-hearted foundations in town. The Gerstacker Foundation, the Strosacker Foundation, the Herbert H. and Grace A. Dow Foundation, Three Rivers Corporation, McKay Press, and the Midland Area Community Foundation's been terrific as well. And if I've forgotten some folks, that means we'll just have to come back and try to ask for more. But
For something else.
But it's some really kind-hearted folks that are helping on this to make this reality. But it really is participatory democracy. And really, I got to give a great credit to Matt Smith and Bill Stavropoulos for coming up with this idea and making it happen.
Well, so here's the next idea. You're going to do it now. Bill Stavropoulos wants this something that people will remember 30 years from now.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, you have to find a place in Midland where you build a big outdoor frame and it's permanently displayed.
Well, we got to figure that out. Yeah, please, Matt.
I can
Matt,
speak
help
to
me
that
answer
a little
this
bit.
question.
So Jacob Kane, our assistant city manager in Midland, him and I have discussed at length the idea of, because once this is taken down, it's 10 feet wide. Once it's rolled up, it'll only weigh about 100 pounds. So it's not an incredible load by any stretch there. And so we did talk about what's next for this. Once we bring it down, we have all these signatures on it. One idea was being able to store it and time capsule it so it can be, at a minimum, so it can be brought out at 300 years, so the community at 300 years can see what we did and the unity of our community in signing affirmation of that of that document.
I want all the people between now and those 300 years to be able to see it continuously.
So
I just think that'd be
what
a
he's
heck of an
saying,
attraction.
we need an Art Lewis gallery to hang this in.
It'd be a heck of an attraction. I mean, really.
The conversation is open, Art. We can absolutely go anywhere we want with this.
Well, let's form a committee.
It's ours now, and the community owns this thing.
Would you back it, Mayor Donker?
Yeah.
I say, when you're focused on the right thing, everything falls into place. So I think the fact that we're here today talking about that means we're on the right road. So anything can happen.
And I did forget the Michigan Baseball Foundation is another one of our great groups. Yeah. Again, that's a Stavropoulos
We're
thing.
going to take a break, come back, talk about a garden walk, and then we'll come back. We'll talk more about the Declaration of Independence and all of that ahead here on the Art Lewis Show.
Of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services.
Hi, we're back with you. And while Bill and Matt ponder my idea of permanency for the...
We think it's a good one. We just don't know where to put it.
We'll turn our attention to Mayor Donker right now because, Mayor, you're here because of the Garden Walk. Tell us about the Garden Walk.
Sure. The Garden Walk is an annual project that's done by the Reese Endeavor, which is a nonprofit that does housing for folks with developmental disabilities and cognitive impairments. So this is its 23rd year. And during the Garden Walk, it's on the 14th of July. It's from 2 until 7 p.m. And individuals will be able to tour 5 private gardens in Midland, plus the Dow Gardens.
Yeah, I saw the Dow Gardens on the end there. That was I'm intrigued by the Dow Gardens always. I mean, it's a fabulous place.
They just had the ribbon cutting on Friday. It was amazing. The new Welcome Center.
Is that open now?
It is. The new Welcome Center is open. It's spectacular. And, and interesting enough, too, they have this great display of 10 animatronic dinosaurs in the gardens.
Yeah.
They brought in special plants to make it feel more period, time to, the garden would feel like the times the dinosaurs were living. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful part of our community.
Well, that area, from Dow Gardens through the Midland Center for the Arts, the library, and then the Whiting Forest is just a spectacular area.
Well, we think so. We might be a little bit biased, so it's nice to hear
little?
you say that. It's nice to hear you say that because we think it's a pretty spectacular place, too. So, Dow Gardens, with its amazing renovations, the Center for the Arts is going through a brand new museum. Yeah. That's going to be amazing when that opens up. The library has been doing some outside construction just to enhance the area around the library and make it a more welcoming place. It is beautiful. And, of course, Whiting Forest. Whiting Forest is unique to itself.
We had I was pretty amazed on the Tuesday of the Dow Championship, the LPGA event. We had planned to have a party at Whiting Forest, but the weather called for rain. So Wendy Trashin and the group smartly moved it inside the Center for the Arts. I was amazed how fast they were able to do that and how seamless it was. You didn't know it wasn't planned all along.
Yeah, Matt Travis and his team are amazing.
Yeah.
Are amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Midland is an unusual community, and a lot of that has to do with the industrial foundation that has been there forever. But it is a unique place, isn't it?
We just celebrated. Case Western was here on Thursday to do a celebration in Hart Park honoring Herbert Dow and the other individuals that he brought to Midland. And so when I think about our history and about Mr. Dow, and, he got fired from the company in the very beginning. He left, went, back to Cleveland, thought, hey, I really need to get back there. This place is something spectacular. And he brought his friends, and they came back here, and they weren't building just a company then at that time. They were also building the community in which they wanted to live. And I think about that all the time. And because I think it sets the tone for us who are in Midland today, that's our responsibility, to build the kind of community in which we want to live.
Well, I think all great companies like Dow were created by visionaries. And the communities they live in usually reflect that. And it seems to me that we are fortunate in the Great Lakes Bay region to have people that live in these communities who are also visionaries in terms of lifestyle and all the things that go with it. And I don't think I'd hear any argument from any of you.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. Bill?
No, it's all about big dreams and aspirations. And America's an aspirational country, never perfect. I think we aspire to be a more perfect union every day and every year and 50 years from now. And so it's that sense of aspiration that's kind of written in the Declaration of Independence, but in our responsibility as citizens. And you're right, the folks who built the Colossus of Dow and then established foundations to help build the community in the future, we have a responsibility today that's significant. And so I think you're spot on.
And we're fortunate in this region to have major players, Dow, and now the splits from Dow and Corteva and all of that. Then we have HSC, we have Corning, SK Siltron in Bay City, and others.
Yeah. Dick Garber.
the individuals
the Garber
like
automobile
Dick Garber.
Empire is really pretty significant,
Yep,
frankly.
absolutely. There are names, there are philanthropic names that everybody recognizes. And certainly Midland has no lack of them at all.
No.
At all. So the Garden Walk, Mayor Donker, tickets?
Tickets are on sale in locations throughout the region. Certainly, you can easily get them at Dow Gardens the day of and at the gardens themselves on the day of, but they're out there and for sale now, and they're $15 a ticket, and hopefully the weather will be awesome, but I'll tell you, it's gardeners, they don't care. If it's raining, they go,
They have to have rain.
Yes, they have to have rain, so it will be happening, rain or shine.
So let's talk about some of them. The Calkins Gardens.
This is the second time they will be on the walk. They were on the walk 10 years ago. Actually, they are. It's the cutest little garden. It's on Arthur Court. It's very small, very whimsical. They do it all themselves, and it's a very charming, welcoming spot. And that
The Bucci, is that right?
the Bucci Garden.
Gardens, I said it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, Laurel Bucci runs the ARCA of Midland in Midland, which is a great organization that also supports people with disabilities. And her yard is, she's been working on it. It has a beautiful pond, and it will be something that, people will go there and be inspired by.
That's at 1218 Bayberry Lane.
Yes.
Then the Fruip Garden.
Fruip Garden is on Holyrood, close to the area where the country club is. In that area, we have actually two homes on Holyrood. Again, that's a gardener's garden in the back. She has a beautiful perennial garden. It's small, but she's able to do it herself. But again, it's very beautiful, lots of plantings. People will find it to be, very interesting.
Spence Garden.
Spence Garden
The other
is
Holyrood.
Yes, on the other end of Holyrood, and it is an expansive yard and somewhat park-like, but it's a very beautiful green space that the family has created and loves to spend time in. And I think people will find that to be very interesting also.
Christensen Garden.
Christensen Garden is over on West Park Drive, and that is a young couple. I'm really very touched by this young family. She and her mother were going to work in the garden together, and unfortunately her mother passed away. And I said, Rachel, do you really want to do this? And she said, yes, I do. I'm going to do this and think of my mom the whole time. So this will be a lovely garden. It's in the historic area of Midland. It was next to the house that Willard Dow built. So people always love to see homes on that street.
And again, this is Tuesday, July 14th, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes. Thank you.
All right.
Mark your calendar.
We'll take a break and come back and talk more with our guests.
Ready to update your home and
Hi, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. In studio with me, former Attorney General and Congressman Bill Schuette. Matt is with them. Matt Smith. They're talking about the 50-foot Declaration of Independence that's going to be on display at the Dow Diamond on July 4th, where you can actually go and sign it. We'll talk more about that. And Mayor Maureen Donker with us, too, talking about the Garden Walk coming up on July 14th. But I want to digress just for a moment, Bill. I'd ask you this
I knew
off
this
the
was.
air.
I knew this was going to happen. We've got this trifecta talking about the Declaration of Independence, and here comes Lewis.
I've known him way too long. First of all, in this political season, you have no political ambitions. Am I correct?
Not today. Not on June 22nd. Nothing today.
Don't ask him tomorrow.
Hey, tomorrow's. I'm an optimistic. I'm an optimist. You know, who knows what'll happen tomorrow?
That's an appropriate answer, right?
Well, yeah,
Not
it's
today.
the one I expected. I do want to ask about the flood reduction work that you've been doing with the committee and where that's at, and is it on track as you see it?
You know, our efforts in Midland to reduce the frequency and severity of flooding is ongoing and frankly going very well. The Mayor Donker's part of that. This is led by a great group, city and the county of Midland, City of Midland, County of Midland, and a group led by Tony Stamas of the Midland Business Alliance. And he recruited a fellow named J.W. Fisher and a woman named Leanne Rouse Keller who do a great job. And we brought together a nice, effective group. And every Wednesday, and I kid you not, every Wednesday for the last 5 years, except Christmas, New Year's, Easter, 4th of July, and I don't know, Matt Smith's birthday, what have you. We don't meet on those Wednesdays, but we have come a long way. Our representatives in Congress, Democrats and Republicans, in a very bipartisan effort because, politics stops at the water's edge. Walt Vandenberg once said that, and it has application to our flood reduction efforts. And so we've been able to raise almost $60 million from the state of Michigan through the efforts of State Representative Bill G. Schuette, and also when Congresswoman Rivet was in the state legislature. Yeah. So it's been very bipartisan. And also Congressman Molinar has done a terrific job, and our Democratic 2 U.S. senators, of getting earmarks for Midland. And we are now at the phase we're going to have a community gathering on August 5th, where we're going to share the Corps of Engineers plans for this whole flood reduction initiative, which will be berms, floodgates, pump stations, and we're going to solve this legacy problem of Midland. It's going well.
Which is not just Midland, because it affects everything downstream.
Absolutely, it does. But
I live across the street from it.
Yeah,
I know.
you've seen that, and it impacts the economic growth of the area. It impacts the environment because when it floods, it means there's more sediment going into the river, and it impacts the healthcare system. When the My Michigan Healthcare was surrounded by water and people couldn't get in or out, that impacts the health of and endangers lives. And so we're going to solve that problem thanks to this great team.
Let me ask, the Corps of Engineers has taken hits over the years for some of their discussions and actions. How have they been to work with on this project? They
have been fantastic. I think they probably had some skepticism about what's up in Midland, and I think some of us hadn't had the privilege of working with the Corps in the past. But, we have a great relationship. They are for our community. They're the folks in the Army Corps of Engineers from Detroit to Cincinnati, which is their regional headquarters, and then to Washington, have been absolutely fantastic. And they know that this is an important responsibility of the federal government. Communities can't do it all themselves. So it's been really top-notch.
Same question about the Declaration of Independence. How do you pay for all of it?
Well, here's what we're doing. We are working with Congressman Molinar and Senator Slotkin and also Peters at this point in time, and Congressman Molinar and McDonald Rivet. They have been really great in providing infrastructure funds, and they're poised for the big enchilada when we finally have the final cost estimates of what this might what the cost will be, and also the timing. So, thankfully, these are the type of infrastructure projects that government ought to be involved. These aren't $2,500 coffee makers. This is about how do you protect the livelihood and health and safety and commerce of communities in the Great Lakes Bay Area.
What does it mean to the city, Mayor?
Oh, it's incredibly important to the city. Certainly, our residents are our top priority, and, our residents are also our partners along with businesses. So this work is, our goal is to really make sure that Midland's best days are ahead. And so to do that, we need to be sure we're resilient in the face of challenges and that we're moving forward in all of this work, and how we're collaboratively working together is really making that happen.
How would you describe Midland today?
I would say that it is a welcoming, beautiful, thoughtful community. And I think people care deeply about it and are engaged and want to be a part of creating something, not just for themselves today, but also for future generations and future, businesses.
Bill, how do you view it? You've been there most of your life.
Yeah, I'm a local guy. I've had some sojourns here and there over the course of time, but I would call Midland a strong community and a resilient community that's in transition. I mean, we are in transition, and Dow Chemical and the industries in Midland have gone through ups and downs. There were big layoffs in 1958. We had some in the 60s and 70s, and we're having some right now, which is hard on those families that are affected, which impacts the community. And so it is not easy. But what I say is that Midland is a place of resilience, and also we want to help those who are going through a rough patch. The company itself is going through a transition in leadership, and I think we're going to come through that in a very positive way with talented folks that are determined to make sure that Midland is Dow Chemical's home and headquarters, and a new Dow Chemical. And you know what? The change always has to occur. It's never easy, but people didn't know, oh my gosh, we're not going to make buggy whips anymore, and now we've got artificial intelligence that's going on, and so we're going to have to and data centers, and we're going to have to go through all that. But I can tell you this: Michigan and Midland needs to be a place that offers opportunity for jobs and productivity. And if we don't have this attitude of competition, all the investment will go to the southern states. And we can't have that. That's why people go to Texas, because of tax policy and environmental policy. We need to make sure that we're up to speed so that Midland and Michigan is a growth city and a growth state.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, we'll remind you of the two events that we've been talking about, and all of that is ahead after these notes.
Looking for a fun getaway without...
Back with you in studio with me, former Attorney General, and also former congressman and a few other things in his life, Bill Schuette. And with him is Matt Smith. Matt, what do you do for a living?
So, Art, I work for Monter Realty as a realtor.
Oh, you're a realtor. Ah. And Mayor Maureen Donker, we know what she does. Everything.
Well, that's very kind of you to say that. Not quite. But there is some wonderful things to be involved with in Midland, for sure.
All right. One of them you're involved with is the recent endeavor of Midland Garden Walk. So tell everybody again the wheres and the whys and the hows and all that.
Sure. The Garden Walk is going to be July 14th from 2 until 7. You're able to tour 5 private gardens in Midland and Dow Gardens. Your ticket will get you into Dow Gardens also that day. So the weather does not stop the garden walk, let me say that. Rain or shine, gardeners are used to that. And so it's an opportunity to kind of explore Midland's community and explore, 5 gardens you might not be able to see otherwise. And it supports the Reese Endeavor, which provides housing for folks with developmental disabilities and cognitive impairments here in Midland.
And at the end, that ticket also gets you into the Dow Gardens.
It does. It does.
You get to see the new Welcome Center and all that, huh?
Yes. And I just really encourage you to go and do it. It's absolutely beautiful. I was there on Friday for a ribbon cutting. It's, spectacular. And plus they have a great display of dinosaurs there. So you'll see something new and some fun, exciting things in the gardens.
So, Matt, let's talk about this 50-foot high Declaration of Independence that's going to be out at the Dow Diamond on the 4th.
On the 4th.
July 4th.
It will actually, Art, to that point, it will actually be there on July 3rd. We will start to display the Declaration around noon on July 3rd, and it'll come down around 6 a.m. on Monday morning. And the idea there is that if you are not available, you're not in town on Saturday the 4th, we still encourage you to come down and see the Declaration and get an opportunity to sign that anytime between noon on Friday and 6 a.m. on Monday.
And the signing, you described before, there's a section of it you've kept open.
That is correct.
Plain. What kind of paper are they using? Is it a paper or is it a...
It's ancient papyrus. It's very interesting.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah, very unique.
Sent you overseas to get it, huh?
Yes, I just got back.
So it's a vinyl, Art. So if you think of like a vinyl
very-
banner
yeah,
that you would
yeah.
make a banner out of,
Yeah.
very weather resistant. Also, very good for signing on with a Sharpie. It won't blur. It'll be relatively permanent in that nature too. And we're really excited about the idea of the community and the region having an opportunity to sign this thing and come together in unity, no matter who you are, no matter what your beliefs are. Come down and engage this document that is our document and put your name on it.
Okay, let me explain what unity means when you sign it. We do not have any John Hancocks around here. Keep your signature the same size as everybody else's.
No, we have specific. Share with that, Matt.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think I hit
yeah.
on something. Huh?
So, we're going to try to help guide people in, signing in an orderly fashion for one, just so we can get as many signatures
Sure.
on there as possible. And we do have security lined up as well. We really would hate to see anyone decide that this is the place that they're going to
Yeah.
take their stand, and do something, to make a statement
Right.
there. We're just asking people to really be respectful of that, and really, I think the idea of this 50-foot tall Declaration of Independence, I think, will command respect in and of itself. And I really believe in my heart that when people see this, that they'll do the right thing.
When is the reading?
The reading will be between 3 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. So we'll start off with music. We've got the Chemical City Band playing music. We'll have some historical context. I'm going to talk a little bit about Thomas Jefferson and how he became the author of the Declaration of Independence. Then we will have the formal reading of the Declaration from all the stakeholders in our community, including Mayor Maureen Donker. And then Gretchen Shope, who is a Jimmy Award winner as the outstanding high school vocalist from Dow High School, she will be there singing the Star Spangled Banner. And then we'll wrap up about 4:30. And that art is going to roll into the events that the City of Midland has planned with Stone Street Revival Concert and the fireworks after that.
I just saw Donnie Brown the other day. I ran into him. Stone Street Revival is phenomenal.
People love them.
Oh, out of this world. They were a phenomenal band. All right, well, listen, first of all, thank you all for being here. Bill, I charge you with going out and forming the committee for the permanent display.
The Art Lewis display case of the Declaration of Independence.
Not going to let you forget that one.
Well, you know what? And I don't know of any community in the United States of America, 50 states, 4 territories, have put together a 50-foot high Declaration of Independence. So come and sign. It's participatory democracy.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I'll be there. Mayor, as always, thank you much.
Thank you for having me.
Matt, nice to see you.
Thank you, Art.
And Bill, as always, my friend.
Sir, it's fun. You and I have a wonderful friendship and relationship, and boy, there's a lot of history that's gone past on this desk and in this
There has been, yeah.
this TV radio station. Rather,
Broke bread a few times, too. I'll have to do that again.
yeah.
Very good. Thanks for being with us. Bill Schuette, Matt Smith, Mayor Maureen Donker. We thank them all, and we'll take a break, tell you what's ahead next hour.
Hello, I'm Shep.
All right, I thank our guests from the previous hour. Coming up on the 10 o'clock show, we're going to talk to Samantha Engel from the Reed Association in Saginaw. All of that is ahead this morning. Before that, though, news from ABC News, bringing you up to date on the world and the nation. And Jonathan Dent's in the newsroom for Michael Purchett this morning. He'll bring you up to date on the region and the state. We'll be back right after that.
Broadcasting from the